Nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and
Nigjas and Sambo Rise.
Yes, don't be black with your speech.
It's time.
It is considered anti-Semitic to ask a Jewish woman for her number. They have names now.
So, I hear your snatch has had enough people to apply for statehood.
Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom, Justin Trudeau plots his next move.
Oh,
Will or will he not be in blackface? Find out next time on the Super Friends.
I love doing that. Hold on. There you go, Mitch. James.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Welcome to the Midnight Show with the Midnight Crew. Rotncorpse, Angela Arriaga, James Colley, WillItForge, and our host, Peter Alexander. With special guest, Mitch the Ripper. With that, ladies and gentlemen, let us begin.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the show. Tonight we have Mitch the Ripper. Oh, sorry, Mitch Nemo. Bad on the show.
It's not midnight.
It's midnight adjacent. Damn it.
Midnight somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Atlantic. Somewhere over the Atlantic.
I mean, better than Mitch Chemo.
Yeah.
Hey, give it time.
Oh Lord.
hush.
If you go to the pinned comment in chat, you'll find 4 GoFundMe's. They're for the High Plains Food Bank, Angela Arriaga, the Hey Camel, and Maddy. All good people and friends of mine who can use a little help and assistance. So anything you give is greatly appreciated. Yo, Keeve, and hey, Green Badger.
In the chat.
James wanted to do a rant, so I'm gonna give the floor to him so he can do his rant. It's part of a video. I will open it up and share it.
Does the internet come with floors?
It should.
With floors?
I mean, if it does, they're sticky as all hell.
Oh, because he's yielding the floor to.
Ah, yes.
All right, I'm gonna play the video for James.
Yep. This is my problem.
So now we're going to have asshole bikers in the air. Great.
Well, that right there is clearly a crane shot. There's at least 3 different vehicles in this video.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Yeah, it's at least. There may be as many as 5.
Now, I have nothing wrong with a transformer, but that's
Robots
fake as
in
hell.
disguise.
Yes, that's fake as hell. James, you wanted to rant? Go right ahead. The floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with y'all as far as the video itself being fake. But my whole problem is, why do we not have people legitimately working on this?
We do.
Oh, I think some people are.
You do realize the Jetsons was set in the 1990s.
Well, the reason why we probably don't have too many people working on this is they already have enough problems keeping people alive from car crashes. And then when you add them, accelerating into the ground, plausibly reaching terminal velocity, you're not going to have survivors.
I mean, I would be more than happy to let them do that.
I don't want how much easier it would be if
house.
so many stupid people self-delete that way.
Yeah, but think of how many other people they might take with them as well, because they get into a drunk driving collision in the air and then fucking land in someone's house, killing them and a family.
All right,
They didn't
fine.
do
That's
nothing wrong.
Okay.
Well, see,
Let's get rid of we're going to start on it.
It's a safety
my floor and my
feature.
ceiling are concrete, so
It's a safety feature, so they don't the hovering or flying in this case. It's a safety feature, so they don't bump into the curb as they're careening towards your living room.
That way they can avoid being like hit the curb. Oopsie doodle.
Yeah.
Oopsie. Oh man.
Now, interestingly, way back in the 90s, a friend of mine and I sort of brain crafted a safety feature for motorcycle riders. But it wouldn't do anything to address anyone else. The people in your living room. But essentially, it was like a flight suit that was comprised of airbags. That they would explode outward, obviously, so they wouldn't crush you. But the trigger was rigged so that it plugs into your suit and into the vehicle itself, and when that connection is broken, the airbags deploy. And I'm sure someone's created something similar like it already since then.
I mean, they've created something similar to that, including I've seen what they did, like a airbag system that Monkey could use, because it especially deploys to protect your head, neck, and stuff if you start to fall.
Yeah.
Green Badger writes, exactly. Think about how many shitty drivers you have to deal with already. Now think about them being airborne. Agreed. I mean, at first, I would assume that it wouldn't get that far off the ground. So it's more like
it's long enough. It should be just fucking high enough that they'd start pushing it, that they'd start hitting goddamn power lines and shit like that.
Right.
Well, that will resolve itself quickly too.
That would too. That instantly solves that problem. Or I wouldn't want underground power lines either. So I agree.
I'd actually rather have underground power lines compared to above ground power lines.
It would make repairing them a fucking task and a half. Yeah.
Well, what you do is you make you run them through access conduits that are
easily accessible.
And large enough to actually crawl through nicely, or even crouch and everything. Doesn't have to even be standing height. You just have to be able to access conveniently. We already do tubes like that.
That's
underground under cities for.
No, that's ableist because now you can't hire any claustrophobics.
And we can't hire wheelchair bound people as linemen either. So I mean, you got to draw the line somewhere.
Oh, I'm actually agreeing with you in a weird way.
Have blowers running air circulation down there and paint the sides of them with scenes of yards and open skies and everything.
James, you about to say something?
Yeah. However, this flying bike thing was not the worst thing I've seen today, this week. That only goes to that fucking Batman shit that I had to see Thursday.
What you say?
I said, this flying bike thing was not the worst idea I've seen all week. That only goes to the Batman film that I saw Thursday.
Oh, Joker Rising?
Yeah, that piece of trash.
Oh, that's nothing.
He helped me. We were so fucking bored from that movie. We started talking about the lighting.
I guess I missed that one.
No. I got one worse. I realized what the worst one is we done. From Hell to the Wild West.
I'm not sure anymore.
Yeah, I don't know if that's actually the worst one we've done.
I mean, because From Hell to the Wild West at least had decent cinematography.
And gunfights, so all right.
So in the 12 years between interesting parts and From Hell to the Wild West, you
Things
got
have gone
something.
downhill.
But with He Helped Me, it was 30 years between beginning and end.
And we felt all 30 of them years.
Oh God!
Yeah, they put all 30 of them on screen.
It seemed like it. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't believe the shave I had to go through after that. My God, 30 years of growth. My goodness. Not to mention what was on my face.
There are a few videos I wanted to show you guys that I found on the interwebs on Twitter that I found interesting, and then we have the article. Angel's probably going to kill me after she reads it. I'm gonna die happy.
Can I do a quick interject?
Sure, go right ahead.
Totally off topic. Will, is that a reference to the Rush song?
No, that must Rush someone else.
No, it is a reference to Simon and Garfunkel. The words of the prophets are written on the subway walls. And the tenement halls.
Because the Rush song, the words of the prophet were written on the studio wall. And I thought they were just playing with the concept but then I'm like, why didn't they just do it in a studio?
No, you're on the wrong song. It's the Sound of Silence.
Yeah, I'm listening to a piece of music that doesn't involve, hey, let's slit a wrist.
I like.
Have you noticed that about Simon and Garfunkel? A lot of their stuff is like, hey, I can't wait to open a vein.
I like Simon and Garfunkel.
So do I. I'm just saying, just like a fucking Adele. The woman's got an angelic voice, but Jesus, lady, find a tall building.
Wow.
That or get with a guy
She'll
that
bounce.
treats you right.
Oh wait, she lost weight. I'm sorry, she won't bounce anymore.
Crystal metal. Go on, Tier. I'm sorry for that diversion.
I mean, my favorite thing is for the women that like bitch online and whatnot about that. It's like, I always hope that there is that one guy that's going to find you and treat you right, just so you shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Wow. All right, I found this, and this one, I just had to laugh.
Exponentially nicer than wishing death or some shit upon them. It's like, no, I want them to get happiness, so that way they find out they're being retarded.
It's like my thing when I tell people, hey, you should learn to masturbate, so it'd save the rest of us the trouble of telling you to go fuck yourself.
All right.
I mean, depending on the person, if they tell me to go fuck myself, I'll tell them.
Hell.
I'll tell them to fuck me themselves, them cowards. Oh, this dumb shit.
It came.
This is fucking funny.
James, I hate you for like.
It came from Mordor.
I saw the thing. I didn't actually watch it. I was like, okay.
I watched it.
It came from the Shire.
This is the. I haven't seen this one because I didn't realize this was the Lord of the Rings one. I've seen the Harry Potter one.
I ain't seen the Harry Potter.
Slow, but we're marching through the mud with a steady flow.
It freaks me out that Frodo looks like a 6-year-old boy here.
It does.
We're going to tracker hunting coons at night. Gimli swinging axes, but his aim ain't right. Legolas butts off logs. Harlan's painting toenails, yelling at the dogs. Saruman's like neighbors, always causing grief. Scheming in his tower like a backwoods thief. With the swamp behind
the concept is you transfer this shit to a country setting.
Frodo's carrying the ring and it's dragging slow, but we're marching through the mud with a steady flow.
Okay, this isn't as bad as I was expecting.
I prefer the Sinatra cover AI of Gangster's Paradise.
I like that one too.
Frodo's feeling rough, that rain's getting mean. Sam's frying up catfish, keeping Frodo lean. Boromir's all tangled, lost in the dark. Galadriel's telling fortunes in the back of her yard. Golems that were cousin we don't bring to town. His family
Looks no different.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got some facial hair.
I'm surprised they didn't use Steve Buscemi, to be honest.
Yeah.
Frodo's carrying the ring and it's dragging slow, but we're marching through the mud with a steady flow.
I like the concept. It's a concept of if you transplanted Lord of the Rings into a hillbilly, redneck setting, and it's fairly interesting.
That needed
Then what are
to
the
be
ring rats?
explained.
Go ahead.
And it looks less gay than the original.
Motherfucker.
Yep, and that disappoints the fuck out of James.
You know what my comment is going to be? Go fuck yourself.
And then see James.
We can be proud of it.
All James has to do is retort when someone says that to you is, "Go fuck myself. Fuck me yourself, you coward."
Damn.
Exactly.
All right.
I can't say that too much around where I live because there'd be some people be like, okay, and I'd be like, no.
The dog.
The
dog. The dog. Angela,
Well,
if you go
that's the
dogs are
universal
decent people.
answer. Everybody gives that answer, including Fauci and his wife.
Damn.
Well, Fauci's been putting a lot of more faith in the dog for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess that it's time for me to open the article.
Yes, ma'am. It is time for you to open the article, and I'm going to be shot on sight, but I will take that bullet like a fucking king.
She doesn't have a gun. She's in California.
You're right, but you never know.
Well, she
with
could
her.
have a gun illegally or
That'd
not
be-
easily.
Just has to be California compliant and all kinds of other stuff.
Well, she can have the gun, but the ammunition has to be 50 yards in a lockbox.
May I ask, was there any indication that, aside from the fact that these people don't understand how orcs exist in the world of Tolkien?
When he specifically said there wasn't any.
When he specifically said that the orcs are corrupted elves that are literally grown. Like Sauron
Big
was
deal. Every
grown.
other form of life is grown.
Well, he didn't even say they were grown. He said that they were basically it's a kind of a clone type
okay.
or a magical
Clone magic.
mutation. Like a magical mutation.
The key point is there's no baby orcs ever.
No.
Right.
Because they don't start off as orcs.
It's like vampires.
These are
Yes.
people who don't understand the difference between orcs in Tolkien's world and orcs in like Dungeons and Dragons.
D&D.
Well,
Right.
I mean, depending on the vampire dialect as well, they do some of.
Well, like Blade wasn't a result of two vampires mating because vampires don't reproduce that way. Vampires reproduce by the bite.
Well, no.
There's a couple of steps in it involved, yeah. But
No.
when isn't there?
In Blade, there are vampire with children because remember when he fought Frost, the reason why they
there are purebloods.
So in order to be a pure blood, you have to be born a vampire.
That's true.
And Frost wasn't. Frost was turned.
But, the pureblood thing, I believe, is a relatively recent concept in vampire lore. As far as I used to read about vampires all the time, and it's always been the result of a curse, or not a curse, but a backhand of God. kind of thing.
Yeah, essentially, the original Bram Stoker thing, which all modern vampires spawn from, is that God, he pissed off God. And
Yeah, God said,
fuck you.
God said, oh yeah, well, fuck you too. And here's how.
Okay.
And you know,
Well,
I'll go into my vampire thing later. It's getting us off topic.
okay.
I was gonna say, do I read
Yeah.
about the retards
Yes,
now?
No,
Yes.
we're trying to keep him distracted, so you don't have to.
The sooner I get it done, the sooner I don't have to read it anymore.
The sooner you can stab a motherfucker. Anyway, go on.
just rip the Band-Aid off.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there was a baby orc and an orc family on the Rings of Power Season 2. Get over it. No, I will not. Thank you.
That's just one more reason why I'm glad I haven't watched any of Rings of Power.
What? Oh my gosh, you guys are morons. Oh.
You can do it, Angela. You can do it.
One little orc / Uruk baby is in the middle of much discussion among the lovers of Middle-earth in our world. During the Lord of the Rings of Power Season 2, first episode, we got to meet the orc Glug, who seems very concerned about the orcs marching off to war after they just found a home in Mordor. Oh my God, what did they do?
Stop trying to make sympathetic villains. Not every villain needs to be sympathetic.
Do you remember?
Out.
Wait a minute, and really quickly, do you remember the animated Hobbit movie from like the 70s, if I'm not mistaken?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
All right, so they did a Lord of the Rings, and then they wanted to have a disco-y song, so he created "Where There's a Whip, There's a Way."
Uh-huh.
I think this is trying to ape that because in that song they didn't want to fight. Like the whole thing was they don't want to go to war. Like
they didn't want to leave the cave during the time when the light was out.
Yeah. They're more than happy to kill. They're not so happy to die, but they're react very badly to sunlight, so they didn't want to be out when it was bright.
No, the trolls reacted poorly to sunlight. The orcs didn't fucking
trolls is trolls is something else entirely. But the orcs are very adverse to sun. It doesn't kill them.
Can we get back to the article and just accept the fact that Tolkien didn't write sunscreen into his fiction?
It turns out that neither orc ladies nor orc babies have ever been depicted in the Lord of the Rings adaptation before, because he didn't make female orcs. The orcs were chosen specifically to be warriors, and so he chose men. Dumb fucks.
Sexist.
The Lord of the Rings adaptation before. And for some, this was a shocking turn of events. Yeah, you made a single-sex race have babies and suddenly sprout women.
Ian Malcolm.
Yeah. Nature finds a way, right?
Corrupted light finds a way.
What were you going to say, Tyr, before I move on?
Oh, no, go ahead. I was saying corrupted light finds a way.
Aren't the orcs just purely evil beings who could have no love in their hearts? Yes, they are. That is exactly how they were made. Well, we suppose that's a fair question, but the Lord of the Rings of Power, has long been veering away from that interpretation of orcs, or as they like to be called, Uruk. No.
See,
No.
now they're saying we can't say orc because it's racist. Fuck me. That's the implication there. You understand that, right?
Yes.
Does everyone understand that? They prefer to be called
orc.
So we feel it makes a lot of sense to have orc families in the narrative.
Oh God, they're not Japori immigrants,
But
for fuck's sake.
beyond that, no, he very specifically did not. J.R.R. Tolkien and his writings leave much room for orc babies and orc family ties to exist. And yes, orcs do reproduce like humans and elves. Once again, get over it. Huh.
Is that just like Tolkien left a lot of room in his writing for beardless dwarves, especially women, when his writings specifically say that all the dwarves had beards?
Dwarf
Period.
women have beards.
It is canon that dwarf women have beards. If it's a woman that doesn't have a beard, it's not a dwarf.
Why are all of these fucking people obsessed with fake fucking?
Only really on their toes.
Because they can't get real fucking. They're hideous.
They're hoping to license the Rule 34 stuff from
I think so.
Rings of Power orcs.
Well, no, I think it goes beyond that. I think they're trying to make it okay to make Rule 34 a reality, if you know what I mean.
I don't think it's that. I think they don't understand the concept of morality.
No, I think they don't understand the concept of when you make a race of males, they are males and they do not reproduce.
Well, it makes
just
you
like
think that they've
just like
already
many of
got
these writers.
Yes.
What, Mitch, you think they've already got the story tied up in the royalties on Horror of the Rings?
Probably. No, I think they want to make it okay for Rule 34 to exist as a natural law. And maybe you could argue that it does. What I mean by that is they want to be able to type into the internet pigs fuck dogs and then have pigs fuck dogs in real life. Because these people are sad and lonely and uninspired so that as a result of all of that, they are unattractive and aren't getting laid ever.
Well, it's that whole thing. It's like that shit already exists on the internet. They can go be a degen on the internet. It doesn't.
I understand.
And
that.
to have their fucking fan fiction, they need to stop trying to fuck with canon.
What I'm saying is that there's an inherent distance between your real life and what you experience on the internet. You can look at sex on the internet and you're not having sex. These people, when they write this stuff, they're trying to put the idea into everyone's head so that it eventually becomes okay. Look at what they did with child rape.
Still trying to, and I still say
they are still trying to. Look at the progress they've made. I'm saying look at the progress they've made with child rape. They've made so much progress that we don't call it child rape anymore. We call it pedophilia because pedophilia is a nicer sounding word. Pedophilia, child rape, motherfuckers. Call it what it is. Yeah. Minor attracted persons. Child rapists.
Which is
well, I mean, if you want to say you're a map, maps belong hung on the wall. And then, when they're no longer of use, you can throw them in the fire.
Well, yeah, if they serve no other function, they can serve as kindling. What were you going to say, Angela?
The thing that irritates me about the map thing is that it now alters how you speak about sexual deviancy as a whole in law enforcement as well.
Yes. Again, and if you soften the name of the condition or the criminal activity in this case, all you really do is make it more acceptable in people's heads because it's a nicer way to say it. It used to be.
I'm going to April Carlin really quick. We went from shell shock to PTSD.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even call it post-traumatic stress disorder anymore. We just simply call it PTSD. And thanks to daytime talk shows, everyone's got it because the only thing daytime talk shows gave to our society is the language and vocabulary of excuse making. I can't go shopping today. I've got anxiety. Fuck you. Not
I have
everything.
anxiety every day, and I do have PTSD.
Well, yeah,
and
everyone.
I still
No, Angela.
go out and
When
do
it's
what needs done.
when it's not excuse making, it's legitimate. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is I
Okay.
turn around and I hear all of these people. I have this, so I can't do this.
Like, yeah, my hair
Bitch,
won't go
I am
right,
in
so I have
pain.
anxiety. Fuck
I
you.
am in pain from the top of my neck to the tips of my toes. Yeah, it keeps me from often keeps me from completing everything I have to do in a day, but I still got to get shit done, and I do.
I was gonna say, to go in a little dark humor of it, the only one that I disagree with the most is when people try to say, well, like some war veterans, they don't have PTSD, they have spicy deja vu. And it's like, no, they don't, you dumb motherfucker, because deja vu is feeling like you've done this before. It'd be spicy nostalgia, retard.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do it at least fucking understand the English
Use
language
the right
better.
words.
Well, yeah, it's like how people say karma's a bitch when they don't know when they're describing a thing that is not karma.
Yeah.
What they're describing is poetic justice, and that's not what karma is.
Schadenfreude.
Karma is what you do in this life that applies to the next life. So if I was a dick to some cashier last week, then the cashier hits me with their car, that's not karma.
Poetic justice.
That's irony.
Yeah, that's poetic justice.
Did you just say poetic justice is hot?
Yes, I did.
It's spicy poetic justice.
Okay, so
are you talking about the movie or something?
How can you not think that someone getting their just desserts is just not just magnifique?
It is.
I wouldn't,
but it's
call
not
it
always
hot.
karma.
You're right.
No, I
understand.
understood.
I never claimed to be a
No,
good person.
no. Schadenfreude is the feeling of exhilaration you get when you see someone get poetic justice.
Or just
It
when you
is
see someone
not-
else suffer.
Yeah.
The German word for the
that's something
enjoyment
that-
you get out of the suffering of others.
Wait a minute, James. James wanted to say something.
I've got something that will encapsulate this whole article.
What?
Baby work, do 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 do. Baby work, do 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 do. Baby work.
Here's what J.R.R. Tolkien has to say about orc babies and orc families. Of course, it is fair enough to ask what J.R.R. Tolkien, the creator of the Lord of the Rings world, would have to say about orcs having families and babies. Handily, Tolkien does address these ideas while also leaving the door open. What? In a way that 100% allows for the Rings of Power's interpretation of orc community.
Oh, now it's a community.
Orcs reproduce like elves and men and elves, and that means an orc baby is totally valid.
Orcs reproduce like men in tights. Sorry, different. I was doing a crossover.
Most notably, Tolkien said of the orcs in the Silmarillion, and thus did Melkor breed the hideous race of the orcs in envy and mockery of the elves, of whom they were afterwards the bitterest foes. For the orcs had life and multiplied after the manner of the children of Ilúvatar, and not that had life of its own, nor the semblance of life, could ever Melkor make, since his rebellion in the
Ainulindale.
Before the beginning. So says the wise. And deep in their dark hearts, the orcs loathed the master whom they served, in fear, the maker only of their misery.
He had to twist what was already made because he couldn't make anything of his own.
For the
Yes,
orcs had
he
life
corrupted it.
and multiplied after the manner of the children of Iluvatar, and not, meaning none of them had life of its own, nor the semblance of life. So none of them had their own life, nor did they even have the semblance of life.
Yes, because they were corruptions.
Yes.
All right. Tolkien said this. This is what he said in his direct writings. Evil cannot create. It can only perverse and destroy. And if you take those words in its meaning, that they can't create life. They just can't do it.
James.
I'm here. I am here.
Right on.
It's literally translates to shameful joy. Oh,
Yeah. How many statues has Antifa created? For example.
You're right.
Two important aspects of that quote jump out. First, Tolkien makes it plain that orc babies do exist.
No, he doesn't.
Actually, he said specifically they do not.
Okay.
Release quick.
I'm going to do a little
something.
internet research here.
I'm going to check something really quick.
What you doing, check?
I'm gonna go grab a drink. I'm not drunk enough for this.
Right on.
Talk here.
Okay. Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to pop the funny video while you guys are checking this out. Share screen.
Cool.
Let me. That. We'll come back to it because we will.
Okay, yeah, I need a distraction from the temptation to shank somebody.
This one is fucking hilarious. Y'all hear it?
If a man with the name Abdullah Ibrahim was at your strip club last night?
I'm sorry, ma'am. We're not in the habit of taking the names of our clients.
I was just wondering if you can ban him.
Ma'am, we don't even get names of people who are coming in here. We're not banning anyone. I'm sorry.
No. I'm his wife, and he keeps cheating on me with twinks from your club. I need him to stop.
Ma'am, that is a very serious accusation.
But we have 5 kids. Can you please get him to stop?
Ma'am, your fertility has very little to do with my job. If this person is coming to our club, he is doing so with his own free will. This really isn't our problem, ma'am. It sounds like maybe you want to speak to a marriage counselor.
But it's 5 kids.
Ma'am,
I'm pregnant.
Again? That's okay. Wow. How long have you known he's been coming to our club?
He missed the birth of our 4th child because he was at your club and he used my credit card.
Girl, this is honestly starting to feel like a bit of a non-consensual trauma dump. You are obviously very fertile. If you knew that he was coming to our club and you made more babies with him, I don't even know what you're still doing with him. Is he rich?
He's really poor.
Girl, you have got to make better decisions. Either way, I don't think I can help you. Is this person a threat to our community in any way?
No, but he just won't be loyal to me.
Well, so long as he's a loyal customer, man, that's the only thing. We're a business.
What is wrong with you? I'm just asking you to ban him. Like, why can't you do that?
What's wrong with me? What's wrong with you? I'm not the one who's making 5 babies with a faggot, sweetheart. You're the one who's making that mistake. And that you are calling me when I have an entire bar to set up. Man, this is not my problem. This is not the
I'm gonna call the cops on you guys.
You're gonna call the cops on us. Bitch, I'll call the
What, because you can't choose good men?
Yeah.
I don't even know that any of this is.
Oh, so this one's running. Considering her laughing and everything, this one's running frank.
This is a skip.
Honestly, the way you sound, I don't blame him.
I don't like your attitude.
I don't like your attitude, miss, and I can tell you something. The twinks at our bar aren't going to get pregnant and have 5.
Something on that jumped out at me. Non-consensual trauma dump. In other words, how dare you tell me your troubles?
How dare you lay your problems at my feet? All right. Did you finish looking up what you were looking up, Angela?
Yeah, it didn't help.
Okay. I'll go back to it.
Now, see, I'm from what I see here, Iluvatar is a kind of god. If we're to put it in very plain terms.
Yes.
It's a god.
Iluvatar
is a god of the elves.
Stand by. I'm getting to it.
Let him explain.
Iluvatar is a god. God creates men, and that's from what they quoted from Tolkien. God creates man.
Creates
So
everything
if,
from
if orcs, yeah, if orc is a man, not human, just a man, then God created him. He's not born. He's created.
Mm-hmm.
For the orcs had life and multiplied after the manner of the children of Iluvatar. The children of Iluvatar would be the species that God created. Not God didn't fuck people and humans into existence.
I mean
one or two maybe, but
if we're gonna go with that whole adage, I still prefer the country song of God made corn, corn makes whiskey, whiskey makes my baby get a little frisky.
The children of Iluvatar is a term for elves and men.
Yes.
Yeah. That's worse because they weren't created by him.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
But this does say, and if this is from the Silmarillion, this does say that orcs will multiply after the manner of the children of Iluvatar.
Right,
So,
they will multiply. Okay, after
how
the
do
manner.
men and elves multiply?
Well, no. If it's in Silmarillion, it doesn't mean that per se. It means that as the men grow, as their numbers grow, so does the orcs.
Well, I know we're all having a big, great conversation on this one, but I say we move it along a little.
I'm fine, man. Sports.
Yeah, go on. It's just.
Do I have to read?
No,
we've spent like almost just under
think-
an hour on this.
I think we've beaten this thing.
Yeah.
There's only 20 minutes left of the hour here.
This one, I found this one. So, you guys know about the case of Young Thug and Atlanta?
What?
I don't know what a Young Thug and Alana are.
He's a YA rapper, and he's on trial for like some dumb shit. Well,
The fuck is a YA
What's
rapper?
a YA rapper?
Young adult.
Yeah.
Oh.
What the hell is that?
It's some. I don't know. I'm not hip anymore. I'm too old.
I think it's young adult. Like YA novels.
Yeah, but
I was supposed to, is that supposed to be
understand.
like yes to Atlanta or something? I don't know.
I don't
Fucking
know.
people come up with all sorts of stupid dumb shit today.
All right. Okay, but
True.
this was my years ago. This is 100 years ago. Internet time. The judge had a sidebar conversation with one of the witnesses.
Oh, yeah, this one that came out. So we're basically the judge is looking at the defense attorney being like, "Where did you find out about this?"
Yes, and this is that video, and I want to put it.
The judge is caught breaking the rules and
Honestly, I don't even care too much about the video because it's like that's what the whole thing does is they bring up of how they had a sidebar with the witness and everything and didn't involve the defense like they were supposed to, and the judge keeps saying like, "How did you find this out?" And like what everyone wants to know was the aftermath, like what has come of this. The whole video is irrelevant. We need to know what happened after.
He held him in contempt, and like I think he sentenced him like 30 days in jail to be served on the weekends.
Yeah, it is relevant because this is just another sign of judicial corruption.
Yeah,
which our country is rife with, by the way.
I'll play it.
walks out during Young Thug's trial.
For the DA's office, as well as investigators, sheriff deputies, Mr. Copeland and his counsel met together. None of the defense team, to my knowledge, was aware that this was going on.
Mr. Duke, I'm kind of disturbed because how did you find out about any of that?
Well, I'm disturbed too, because Mr. Copeland comes in, meets with the court. The court supposedly made statements, which I assume is somewhat accurate based upon what you just said. Mr. Williams and every other person wrongly charged here is entitled under the Georgia Constitution to be present This court supposedly said, I can hold you until the end of this trial. If that's true, what this is coercion, witness intimidation, ex parte communications that we have a constitutional right to be present for.
I'm going to give you 5 minutes. If you don't tell me who it is, I'm going to put you in contempt. How did you get that information from my chambers? Did somebody tell you?
You should have told
The
me.
judge just admitted to it.
Yeah, the judge
This is what I was told.
Even
That
if he holds
man-
him in contempt, that can
Mr.
easily be
Copeland made
overruled with an
statements
appeal
to-
because of the
Don't
fact
take my
the
note.
judge was doing things he wasn't supposed to. And since
Exactly.
he wasn't acting in accordance with the law, he does not have qualified immunity.
I don't know
No.
if it's called disbarment for a judge, but that man needs to be off that bench.
It
Yes,
is.
he
It
does.
is. It is disbarment. It. All right. So again, there should never be sidebar conversations without everybody present.
Okay, look. I'm a
James.
realist. Is he snoring again? James.
It's his oxygen.
Ah,
Yeah, sorry. I got my
understand.
machine on. I'm okay.
all right.
I'm just having to reposition. Sorry.
Oh, groovy.
It happens.
As I was saying, I'm a realist. I know that there's no such thing as a fair trial, and I'll tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and I'm talking especially if you're poor. Because if you're poor, you have to rely on the state in the form of the public defender's office, who is paid by the same purse as the prosecutor, the judge, and the investigators, the police, who are trying to basically pin a crime on you. There's no way in hell, even with your own attorney who is not employed by the state, you've already got the state in a 3-to-1 scenario against you. With the judge, the investigators in the form of the police, and the prosecutor's office, that's 3, and you and your attorney are 1. You have 3-to-1 odds of getting an acquittal. And even then, all 3 of those agencies use the process to punish you more than a ruling on the outcome of the case.
Mm-hmm.
So you're fucked no matter what. Look at what they're doing to President Trump. That's all abuse of process. Even if he's not found guilty or not sentenced to, because he's already been found guilty, for fuck's sake. But even if he's not sentenced,
he was guilty.
He's still not even. He's still not whole after those events.
Yeah. He's appealing the Eugene Carl because
even if he appeals that case against Carroll, he's not whole. He's had to take out a significant portion of his life to deal with a false allegation. You think that if they rule that the bullshit with Eugene Carroll is a wrongful conviction, for lack of a better word, that she's going to have to pay him any fucking money? No, because it never plays out that way.
No,
not on your.
He doesn't have the money to pay.
Again, he could sue her for defamation.
Oh yeah, he could ruin her for the rest of her life, and he'll still not be made whole because his life is already affected by it. There's no way you could be made whole. And
I was
when
gonna
you
say
throw
that's just another chunk of his life he has to take out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's Donald fucking Trump, for Christ's sake. If it's you or I, and we have to rely on the public defender also paid out of that same purse, we're fucked. We're fucked. There's no innocent until proven guilty in this country.
Yeah, you gotta have a really good fucking lawyer, basically.
Well, and go on, Tyr. I'm sorry.
I'm about to say, isn't the public defender and the prosecutor from actually the same office?
More or less. It doesn't matter what office they're from because they are paid out of the same purse.
Well, no. I mean to say is like they could be literally co-workers. Like, hey, you're on public defender duty, and I'm prosecuting the fucker.
I don't know about that. I don't think
no,
that's quite how it works.
It's not that closely. attached. The other thing is that there are private criminal defense attorneys that take public defender assignments.
Yes.
So you could get the attorney, and you can get very good attorneys in the public defender's office. The problem is public defenders, they are understaffed, they are overworked, and so they're even doing their best. They're not going to be as good at being a zealous representation as an attorney that you can get if you're Alec Baldwin and can afford, to
buy off
two-thirds of
the
a
entire
major law
judicial
firm.
system. Right, exactly.
But there are private criminal defense attorneys, especially ones that specialize in certain areas of criminal law, that do take some assignments for public defender, and then you're getting, it's still the money's coming from the same purse, but you're being represented by a non-government lawyer who does this for a living and for kicks.
And
pro bono work, I also believe, is a tax write-off for them as well.
True.
So public defender / pro bono work, they can write off as a tax.
Public defender is a pay hit, and pro bono is a write-off.
The thing with the public defender's office is that they know which side of the bread they're buttered on, or however that expression works.
They know which side
we're on TV. We're on TV.
And how much do you want to? Do you really think that there's a public defender's office out there that hasn't heard the phrase, "You don't want to push this"?
Oh, I'm sure most of them have.
Or
yeah, and some of them have pushed it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, some have, but for the most part, they're out there trying to do a job, and then they get this message from someone in the state who says something akin to, "Is this how you want your career to end?
Is this where you want to be when Jesus returns?"
Exactly. Now, with Cranepool and Schmidt representing you as doing it either pro bono or as a subcontract, let's say, for the public defender's office, Cranepool and Schmidt are making enough money that "Is this how you want your career to end?" doesn't enter the equation in the same way.
Because it wouldn't end their career.
It wouldn't necessarily end their career. It might result in a bunch of judges working against them, though.
But judges have to be careful in how overt they are about that, because if it becomes
Did you see the video I just saw? That judge was not being careful about being overt.
Yeah, but that judge is going to get smacked down badly too.
The hope is that judge is going to get smacked down badly. That is the hope.
At least from an appeal perspective.
An appeal perspective, he should be removed from as that, and basically every case he's presided over for probably the past 15 years is going to have to be reviewed.
Yeah,
he's
going to show proprietary.
He's given them grounds to move for recusal from the case. He should be thrown out of the court, investigated, charged for direct constitutional violations and everything. It's not going to be a perfect thing. It's not going to happen the way it should. But what he's given them is a slam dunk argument to recuse himself and nearly guarantee that the appeals court remove him from the case and prohibit him from acting on the case if he doesn't pull himself off of it.
Oh yeah, and it's probably going to go to a federal thing to where his career as a judge is over.
Well, yeah. Hopefully it becomes.
Hopefully
it graduates to the level of a civil rights violation.
Mm-hmm.
It is a civil rights violation. The
thing is,
it's a constitutional rights violation.
The defendant
that would be your civil rights there, bud.
Yeah,
I like the
violation of the Fourth Amendment is a civil rights violation.
I know, but I'm like the
first. You should know this. You've had to have taken an oath to the Constitution to have your job.
I know, not like to use the constitutional violation because it sounds better. It sounds classy.
I know what you mean.
It
Now,
doesn't sound classy. It sounds redundant.
And to quote South Park, it doesn't even sound classy to where the A goes around, has the thing to go around, or no,
Fucking
it was
the
the Y.
next.
The Y goes around, or has the tail that goes around to fuck the A right in the asshole.
Oh Lord Jesus Christ!
I'm probably fucking that up.
Now, see, here's how this shit should be handled. If we lived in a society that was focused on liberty, this case would be dropped with prejudice.
Oh yeah,
it's got that potential.
It should be there shouldn't be any review because you see everything you need to see in that 1 minute clip.
The judge
You don't need a
messed with the
review.
witness.
You don't need to investigate anything. It's all right there. A higher judge should be looking at that and going, "Fuck that."
Yeah, and that's something
Dismissed
that might
with
happen.
prejudice.
I don't know.
Yep, dismissed
I don't know
with
when this
prejudice
happened.
because
and-
even if a guilty man goes free,
yes,
you fucking brought this upon yourself by doing what you were never supposed to do.
Oh, and by the way,
you sullied the bench to where we cannot prosecute things properly.
Right.
You sullied the bench to the extent that we can't trust you on the bench.
You know how you clean the bench? After you dismiss that case with prejudice,
you charge the judge.
You charge the judge. Yes, and you don't fucking hold back on those charges.
Oh fuck no.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
we got
because it's that whole thing of as cops would say, is arrogance of the law, or it's like ignorance of the law is no excuse. Arrogance of the law is no excuse either.
Right.
Yeah. Well, the problem is that judges are granted broad levels of immunity for judicial acts. Now, the problem is, let me finish on this one. The problem is by having ex parte communications with the witness and the prosecution in the absence of the defense, he is not functioning in his role of the judge.
Hence why I said he wouldn't have qualified immunity, because he's not acting in accordance with the law.
Right. He's become a de facto prosecutor.
He has become.
He ceased being the referee and started being a member of the. Becoming part of the case itself.
To quote Hot Fuzz, he is trying to become Judge, Judy, and Executioner.
Judge, Judy, and Executioner.
He's
basically
Judy, and Executioner.
He's essentially inserted himself as strategist for the prosecution.
Yes, he is stepping outside his judicial bounds and become a second lawyer for the goddamn.
He needs to be slapped down. He needs to be jailed and fined.
Yep.
None of this either or horse shit. Jailed and
this
fined.
is where it can be both.
Witness intimidation is a felony offense.
Yes. This is fucking huge. Everything he did there, the arrogance of essentially bragging about it on camera. He knows there's cameras in his courtroom. Don't be a fucking retard. Because the second you allow yourself to break the illusion of impartiality, you become the smell of impropriety.
The odor of mendacity.
Yes. This guy made his entire courtroom smell like cooked cabbage. And by the way, now we have to go back and review every fucking case he's worked on.
Yeah, that's why I said it. They're going to have to go through.
That's how you create jobs as a government.
And do every case for at least a minimum of 15 years.
Yes.
Hold on. He's guilty of an additional crime there.
The crime of audacity?
No. So when
that would be on top of the Lion, the Witch, and the audacity of this bitch.
Yes.
No, he asked for the name of the person that told him, or who told him this. So he's asking for a whistleblower, because that person literally, when he went there, he became a whistleblower, and he got certain protection.
There's plausibly some differences in that, because technically the defense isn't a.
Can you let him complete his thought, dear?
I say isn't a journalist, and that's usually where these things fall into.
No, it's not. So a whistleblower is anyone that reports a crime, and government corruption or government malfeasance. Because technically, if I were to see something at my job and report it, I would instantly get whistleblower protections. Because
In theory.
I'm reporting, in theory, yes, but because I'm reporting something, and it's against, say, a government agency or my job. You know, I saw XYZ stealing money, so anything they did to me is retaliation.
Yep.
Like if they would have just fired me after I went to the head of DHS and said, "Hey, XYZ is stealing money from the company, and here's the proof." Oh well, the next day after like it's been disseminated, in 2 weeks I just get fired automatically. Like no rhyme or reason.
Well, yeah, they'll give you a reason. You know that the tire pressure in your left rear tire was a bit low, and we can't tolerate that kind of reduced safety standard.
They'll make up a reason, but it's still whistleblower
and it's like
protections.
I'm a cashier, you know.
Yeah. Like
there's
the guy that reported on Boeing is literally he's a whistleblower. He would be entitled to whistleblower protections.
Green Badger writes it's retaliation unless you work for the FBI.
Here?
Well, it's because they offed him.
Well, that's how you get Clintoned.
Well, don't forget, technically,
Yes,
Edward
here,
Snowden
that
was a
was my
whistleblower,
point.
and he still got freaking charges and whatnot, and had to go exile type shit.
Well, it depends on the level. Like he was telling me like government malfeasance and shit. Like
Yes, because it was that whole thing of like, if you see something, say something. And the government was like, no, not like that.
yeah, not against
Basically,
us.
yeah.
But in theory, they'd be entitled to whistleblower protections.
Well,
I got one better for you.
To whistleblower protections.
I got one better for you. And Tiffany A. Hingett tried to fire the aide to her after he came out when he decided to side against her and tell FBI what she was doing. She tried to fire him, and they said no. He's now a whistleblower, and he's entitled to our protections. You can't touch him.
That's when they start checking his tire pressure.
Yeah, and she tried to, and it stopped.
Yeah, if you fire him at that point, you know, you've just opened yourself up to an even bigger lawsuit. Now, there's one other thing with this judge.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've got the whole thing that the process has to be above board, and it does not require an actual impropriety for the judge to have to recuse himself. It only requires the appearance of an impropriety, the appearance of a bias and everything. And now the accusation by the defense attorney is not sufficient appearance to automatically force a recusal.
No, but the judge's admission is.
The response of the judge, even if it was the accusation's not true, who told you, would have been better, but that would have been sufficient to force a recusal. His response is way beyond that. He's even if it comes back that the accusation is absolutely false, he has given basis and grounds for a mandatory recusal.
Yep.
He's given grounds where the
basically he just fucked the whole case and himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where he's given the base where the Court of Appeals might, if they look at it and say, hey, the accusation actually is false, yeah, the trial can continue, but the judge can't sit on it.
Yeah, it's gonna have to continue under a different judge.
Yeah.
And there's another possibility. Either this judge is slapped down hard, removed from the bench, jail, fines, the whole shit and caboodle, or this was his interview to see if he can be the next judge on a case against Donald Trump.
Well, he's definitely won that one.
Yeah,
that's Merchant 2.0.
Pretty much. Because this judge has that kind of a stink about him. All he's missing is having a daughter who's being paid by former President Trump's political adversaries.
The DNC.
Well, I mean,
basically.
we don't know anything about his family. It's entirely possible she's looking to become a fundraiser for Democrats.
Oh shit! I just remembered something else. So, you know how Fannie Willis said she was we broke up like ages ago. So it recently surfaced that her daughter had gotten into a little car trouble, and I'll use air quotes with the law, and she gets called. Who else? Who should she appear with? Nathan
Funky
Williams.
Winkerbean. Yep.
Yeah. Hot dog man himself.
She perjured herself in that hearing. He perjured himself in that hearing. Everyone there knew it. Absolutely.
You get a perjury charge. You get a perjury charge. Everyone gets a perjury charge except for that one lawyer.
If I'm being generous, you get to everyone knew there was perjury going on, but even the most gung-ho of them weren't convinced that they could absolutely prove it beyond a reasonable doubt for trial itself.
You see how he was acting, right? You see how he was acting.
Oh, I watched the hearing, so
yeah. So in the entire hearing should have been, you're acting as if you're in control. You're not. You're acting as if, and then she ran to the church and said, "Oh Lord, they're trying to take me down, Lord. I'm just an innocent black woman. Lord, please help me." They're attacking a good black man. Those racists. They some racists. They trying to do what the racists do.
Her doing that thing in the church is actually justifiable grounds to remove her too. So
I think so.
When she did that the first time, when she went there the first time, she should have been smacked down hard.
But I say the judge hearing that was both he was cunning and weak, because he didn't have to let her act like she was so much in charge. He didn't have to let her get away with nearly as much as he did, and he gave a very weak ruling on it. The thing is, the ruling he gave was also very cunning, because it gave a slam dunk appeal case to Trump and his co-defendants, because the judge ruled that there had been sufficient impropriety and only basically ordered, went weak sauce in what he required as a result. Now, appeals, as a rule, we're going to accept the findings of fact. And the only thing to take us from a rejection of the findings of fact is it has to be presented to us that the findings of fact are so egregious that no reasonable interpretation of the evidence could in any way support that finding of fact.
Wait, we're on a different case now?
Yeah, we moved to the
Fannie Willis not being removed as prosecutor initially.
I don't know where we are at this point, Rotten. I'm just sitting here trying not to get cars.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go with what my meme says and I'm gonna keep that in my head for now.
All right, you know what? Let's go on. Let's.
But the appeals court isn't going to reverse a finding of fact. They will reverse a finding of law, which means that what he determined as a finding of fact, Fannie's going to have to be removed too.
So, I definitely like this dude. I can't remember what it does. Yeah, best guard dogs that aren't actually dogs.
Here are some of the best guard dogs that actually aren't dogs. Llamas are great guard animals because every llama is born with a blazing prejudice towards anything that even looks like a coyote. And at 6 feet, 400 pounds, llamas will ray rice anything they see as a threat to whoever they're protecting, whether it's your family or a flock of sheep. Just don't leave them alone with your dog because they will 100% commit a hate crime on your pet's head. The Rhea hates coyotes almost as much as llamas do. This South American mountain turkey is naturally overprotected because the males are the ones in charge of guarding the eggs and raising their chicks, which means being a bodyguard is in their nature, which is why farmers will sometimes use these roy chickens as feathery guard dogs to protect their livestock. But warning, they have a Jurassic pedicure that can tear your guts out with one kick, which is why breaking into a house with a male Rhea on duty could get you the death penalty. And number 3 are donkeys because they're naturally territorial and way meaner than we give them credit for. We're talking about they've been known to murk coyotes and then play with their corpse. Donkeys are aggressive enough to solo squad packs of wild dogs, which is why guard donkeys are way more common than you think. They're naturally sweet, but with a crushing bite and a crippling kick, they won't start the fire, but damn it, they'll bring the smoke. You won't just get your ass beat, but the ass will beat it for you. Here are some of the best guard.
That was fantastic. I
freaking love that dude.
All right, so Travis sent me there's 2 videos, and the one is Caleb Hammer. He is this accountant, I assume, and he's trying to help people get out of debt and whatnot. And these people are fucking idiots. All right, so let me go to, I think that's the beginning.
Okay. If you have to think it's the beginning, this is already
gonna pay back money you borrow.
It's not that, I guess. I don't think I've made a single payment on those student loans since I've had them.
Great, you don't feel responsible to pay back money you borrow?
It's not that, I guess.
Well, yes. Go on.
I don't have the degree for it.
Yeah, but you borrowed it. I don't have the degree. I'm paying on mine.
I know I borrowed it, but it's not that I don't plan on paying it back.
This dude.
I know.
$20,576.
Again, like I said, I've been focused on just maintaining my day-to-day. So there's things.
But you're not.
That's why I'm been focused on it and not doing anything else really.
But you're not maintaining your day-to-day. You're moving your car payments to the end of your car payment. You're allowing that 20% interest to accrue. Mind you, again, when I talked about accruing money in your retirement, the best is a 10% average. You're losing more than double that with your car loan.
I don't think I've made a single payment on those.
And these people are fucking stupid.
Gosh.
Wait a minute. This one I like. This girl here.
Yeah, I've seen this guy before to where he does this shit. I've seen it predominantly on like truck payments.
Past due fee.
Is that on the Capital One? Or
yes.
She's trying to be cute about it to get out of trouble.
Yeah. I need to turn on auto pay.
Pay on.
Okay, I like to believe I'm a responsible person.
And yeah, that's good to have beliefs about bullshit that lead us down a wrong path. That's great. That historically has led to amazing situations for everyone.
Oh yeah.
You said this was from Travis.
And how's that going?
Here?
Yeah, Travis sent this to me.
Travis, you gotta link me to this
I'll
dude.
tell you how to not save money. And
I'll link it to you.
My first one saw this was a guy who had that shit like super. It was on his car payments and whatnot. And since we're talking, once we're done with this, I want to get into a little bit of
not how we budget.
That's for something different. Whenever we're done.
Go ahead. Just hold on. Just go ahead.
So without going too much into it, there is a plausibility that in the next about 13 to 14 months, I'm going to be a homeowner. Yeah, and I've been looking into things and everything, and what the fuck still pisses me off of like, okay, I can go through and look down of like how much it should cost for the principal for 360 months. That's 30 fucking years of $300,000. And then when you add the interest into it at 5%, it still doubles the fucking payment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the place that I'm plausibly looking at getting, I was like, oh, I hope I can get this at 5% or less for a fucking fixed rate, because otherwise I might not be able to afford it. And even if I can, like with the taxes and the fucking insurance, like I'm going to be doing fuck all other than going to work and going home.
Pretty much.
I was poor.
I mean, granted, I'll still fucking do it because as long as I have internet and can kind of pay for food, I'm golden. Look, I can live cheap, and with where it's plausibly at and everything, I will be okay. As long as I can keep it though under the $2,000 a month, I can afford it. It's just not going to be fun.
I tell people this all the time.
That's also with the VA loan and having over 10 and getting at least 10% disability, which
I should get with tinnitus because they kind of can't not prove I have tinnitus, and which I do because that shit fucking sucks.
Yes, it is.
I hear you there.
I agree.
Or rather, yes, it does.
Sorry, I can't hear over the sound of my military grade tinnitus.
Yeah.
That's the sound of freedom. But it's just that whole thing of like, I'm going through several different calculators for mortgage loans, and I'm just like, son of a bitch. I was like, at least it got to the $2,000, and that's adding the taxes for the year, which still is way too fucking much for Michigan. You know, I'm already paying. It's like that whole thing. It's like I'll already be paying a mortgage. Why do I need to pay another fucking renting fee? Property taxes are bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh, and beware who your bank is. If there's escrow, they can really screw up with the taxes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, luckily, I have the whole option of going through, since, you know, prior military, of doing the whole VA loan.
Be right back. I'm listening.
So I've at least got that going for me.
Yeah, that's a plus. And
the lucky thing is, depending on how everything goes, and that it's all going to depend on, like, it depends on how much I get for my VA disability.
The other thing is, and you've got the military history. Check into USAA for your insurance.
Oh, I'll most likely go through them because that's who I have already for my car insurance and my renters.
They negotiate very competitive rates for their members.
Yeah, because I've already been talking with the person who owns the home of like how much everything's going to be, and the lucky part is like for the calculator, because I'm not that far from the area. It's all going to really depend on like what the appraisal is versus what we can actually go with for the loan. Thankfully, I'm not going to most likely have to go through a realtor, and I can tell a realty company to fuck off because they're going to add extra shit into it as well.
Yeah, because that's how they make their money.
So most of it's going to depend on an appraisal. But it's like I would love to have this place. It's like this location in like 14 months, because then if I want to get loud and sing and shit like I kind of do, I don't have to worry about my fucking neighbors. Because if they can hear me, that means they're going to be trying to get inside the house, which means they're going to be dancing with a bullet.
See, I don't have that. I live in an apartment, but
that's where I live currently.
Oh, there's no room to dance.
Oh, I still have room to dance. I can't be as loud as I would like to be.
I don't have as big of a concern on that because when they built these apartments, each floor is concrete. I have a concrete slab between myself and the upstairs neighbors and the downstairs neighbors. And
yeah, but I don't have that concrete slab between the people next to me.
No, but there's very, very little. They don't have like the typical apartment paper thin walls. It's not completely soundproofed, but there is very little noise that comes across. So I've got no concerns about
but Will,
when I do my singing and everything,
because I've been kind of working on it in the car and at work, when since I'm not near too many people, I've been working on my metal singing, and I really want to be able to try to belt. Look, I've been listening to a lot of Motionless in White, and they go back and forth between actual singing, screaming, and the growls, and I've kind of been getting a little bit of all of it.
And you want to make sure your neighbors don't think that they live, or their neighbor is a werewolf.
I don't care if they think their neighbor is insane. Whatever.
That's when you put a sign on your door: "Don't knock. Recording in session."
Just start studying King Diamond.
All right. About to say something, but I can't remember.
Here, I put 2 YouTube links in the call chat.
Okay.
Those are definitely absolutely hilarious.
Oh yeah, I remember this one. Here, I'll play it.
Ready, boss?
Oh,
We
this
got a lot
dude?
of things to name today.
Yeah.
Let's dive right in. All right. The
Your
first
spirit
is
animal.
a speech condition where people struggle saying the letter R. Rhoticism. With an R. Rhoticism. Why are you rolling it? Okay, how about when people struggle to pronounce the letter L? Lambdacism. Yeah, lambdacism.
I love this
No.
dude whenever he does the
So,
thing of playing
when people
Satan.
struggle pronouncing the letter G, it's gammacism.
And
You want to make
he goes to the guy and
first
he's like,
letter
it's like
exact
Jeff
letter
or
that
something. And he's just like, oh, I can't do that, Satan. You know, I'm a really nice person. Don't want to. He's like, hypothetically.
All right, what should we call it when a word is read the same way forwards and backwards? Palindrome. Palindrome. Oh, okay, yeah, that's good. I like that. That's good. Let's keep this energy going. And what should we call it when someone has an irrational fear of these palindromes? Ibophobia. All right, how do I spell that? AIBOHPHOBIA.
Incorrect. He asked, how do I spell that? THAT.
So you want to make the name of what they fear the very thing they fear itself.
And the next one.
This one is just as
ready to
good.
go? Yeah. All right, let's jump in. We got a lot of things to name today.
I think this is one.
Speech faltering. There's like an involuntary repetition of the start of a word, especially consonant letters. A stutter.
Perfectly demonstrified.
3 T's.
That's right.
When you struggle pronouncing consonant. What's next? How about when people struggle with S sounds?
Lisp.
You want to put an S in the name.
Correct.
Then every time they tell people what is wrong with them,
they'll have to say it.
I know, right?
Okay.
You monster.
When people struggle with reading, writing, and the ordering of letters.
Dyslexia.
Fuck you.
Dyslexia.
And how do I spell that?
DYSLEXIA. Dyslexia.
Oh.
Look, I already have
All right,
problems
you know
spelling
what?
regular
Move
words.
away.
Fuck off.
Okay. This one is medical, so let's keep it professional and medical, all right?
Medical.
What do we call it when people are depressed, but not all the time? Only during certain seasons.
Seasonal depressive
affective disorder.
Oh. That's not bad. I actually
Wait until it
that one.
clicks.
Seasonal, affective, You want to call it sad. Wow. What are you?
Your boss.
Why?
I'm going to add
I take
here.
great pleasure in the pain and embarrassment of others.
Excellent.
If only we had a name for that.
Schadenfreude.
I'm going to
That
add
was
that
wonderful.
seasonal affective disorder is another great example of the the language of excuse making.
Yes.
You're depressed.
It's legit though.
Okay, you're seasonally depressed.
Well, yeah,
You're still
I'm not
depressed.
again. I'm not talking about legitimate cases.
Yo, Tarbot.
I'm talking about people who use this language to make excuses for their poor behavior or performance.
Being an asshole?
Well, that's a good way to say it too. But it is vague because there are many ways to be an asshole.
Yeah, I had a friend who
Being an overbearing dick. Oh,
I demonstrate them daily.
Sure.
Go on, Angela.
Wazowski, Dad's out here. Sorry, he's at my office door yelling for me to come out. I'm not in my office. I'm in the living room.
I had a friend who, well, technically I have a friend. It's just we haven't been able to hang out for a while. He had lived in San Diego like his whole life. And decided he wanted to go to school up in Oregon, where the amount of gray and rainy days is equal to the amount of sunny and like not gloomy days that we have
Did
here.
you tell me you should take the Oregon Trail?
No, he went up and literally like his body started shutting down
The fuck?
because of the lack of daylight.
So
Like
he
he-
was a plant and he needed sun.
He ended up it was literally, it triggered depression so badly it started affecting his body.
Oh God.
Yeah, because he wasn't used to the shit the way it was supposed to be.
That,
guys,
that raises an yeah.
Yo.
I'm going to have to dip. My phone's starting to overheat.
Right on.
All right.
Well, take care.
Have
Rock
a good
on,
night.
Dave.
Laters.
Never hike
Good
alone.
night.
I mean, I don't know what Cologne has to do with this, but okay.
Exactly. But it brings up another interesting thing to consider. Now, if I'm someone who spends years pretending to have seasonal affective disorder, will I eventually psychosomatic it into being?
Well,
plausibly.
You know about the placebo
It
effect,
depends
right?
on.
I do, yes.
So it isn't unheard of that you would have the reverse, where you give yourself a disease or disorder simply by believing you have it.
Right. That's what I'm getting at.
It very much depends on one very underlying question.
Yes.
Are you claiming to have it as an excuse to get out of stuff, or are you claiming to have it because you legitimately believe you have it? Like in your heart of hearts, you are absolutely convinced you have it. Because there are people who...
The former.
Okay, then you're not going to...
Then no, you're not
It's not going to
going
do
to.
that
I'm
thing.
not convinced of that because tell a lie often enough, it becomes the truth. What if there's a psychological component to that you can inflict upon yourself? Although I have a hard time believing that because I'm also the guy who says you can't fool yourself by setting your alarm clock 10 minutes fast.
And that's exactly the thing. You can train, if you're willing to wake up to the alarm, you can train yourself to wake up 5 minutes earlier than your original by setting your alarm clock 5 minutes earlier, but you still trained yourself to wake up to the alarm. You're willing to do that. You're just saying, okay, let's wake up 5 minutes earlier. You can't lie yourself into it.
Right. But
so you get the, but it's part of the whole thing of the placebo. It doesn't work because you say it's going to work, but you don't really believe it.
Mm-hmm.
It works.
You think
because
it
you
works
believe
because it works because you are told it's going to work, and you absolutely believe that.
Well,
as soon as you come to the realization that it is a placebo, that defeats the psychology itself.
Right. But at the same time, I mean, that's the reason we have the double blinds for drug trials.
Right.
But at the same time, if I condition myself to react to propagate and support the lie,
Mm-hmm.
how long before that reaction becomes the way I naturally react? How long? Basically, how long until it becomes the psychological equivalent to muscle memory?
Angela, you said something?
I said Stephen King answered this one in It. As soon as Eddie was told that his inhaler was not actually the medicine, it stopped working as poison to Pennywise.
Yeah, there is that underlying belief component. The only way you would get to it, to it actually having essentially a reverse placebo effect kind of thing, making yourself sick instead of making yourself well, is if you hit the point of pathological liar on it, you have come to truly believe in your heart of hearts the lie as true. You can convince yourself of that. Yeah, the body will do crazy things based on belief.
Well, the body will also do crazy things based on just repetition.
True.
But
I mean,
but
that's
you
what
end up
muscle memory
with,
is, and the mind will do it too.
the thing being, you can have a equivalent result with a non-equivalent
cause.
Basically, you've conditioned yourself to avoid certain environments and circumstances. So anything that gets to that point will give you some kind of psychosomatic reaction. But as far as being the specific condition, you would have to convince yourself that it is first that condition.
So basically,
kind of like,
it all boils down to a yes, but no, but yes.
Yeah, what you will end
or
up
no,
with,
but yes.
Mitch, is more like the kids that were turning around and pretending to have multiple personalities that ended up giving
I
themselves
have
Tourette's.
DID.
That ended up giving themselves Tourette's because they turn around and decide that they have these twitches that they do before they change their
you can end up with an equivalent outcome, an equivalent avoidance, and everything
Yes.
like that, and just not be the specific condition you've been lying about.
Well, and then and this discussion brings us to another thing. If I'm pretending to have condition A and I manifest the symptoms of condition B as a result of that fakery, I still don't have condition B because it's, well, conditioned.
Well, it's psychosomatic.
Yeah.
And if you stop lying about having
it's-
condition A, you could potentially resolve your symptoms of condition B.
Right. But we're not talking about solutions here because that's not the kind of people we're talking about, if you know what I mean. We're not talking about people who seek solutions. We're talking about people who seek issues so that they can use them as excuses. And how long, before their excuse-seeking behavior becomes
They don't even
the foundation for
necessarily
something
want-
they didn't plan on.
Not all of
No
them
matter
are
what,
looking for excuses either. Some of them are I'm not
Well,
even
no,
going to say some. I'm going to say most are just looking for attention.
Well, yeah, I know
Yeah.
that. But that still falls down that same kind of a rabbit hole, doesn't it? I mean, that goes down the same kind of path. If I'm looking to benefit by faking this thing. Aren't those the same things?
So you're gay for pay?
Seeking attention and seeking an excuse
Validation.
is kind of the same type of behavior. It's seeking a reward for less effort in a way.
Sort of like the transgenders. Oh, I had this because I'm getting praise for being stunning and brave, and everyone finds me interesting and loves me. Or it's a shield that I can use to bash people in the head with.
Nice, Rotten.
I know, because of saying that, I got to go back in my Facebook books to find a specific video.
It takes just a second, doesn't it?
That one is as good in the context as mine.
Yes.
If the smoke is pink, it's a girl. If the smoke is a boy.
What color is the smoke?
Hey, Jamarcus. Sorry. Making fun of naming conventions.
Let's do an asshole story before we hop into a Dear Abby.
Hop into a what?
A Dear Abby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they never come out of a Dear Abby story or article wanting to shake somebody. Yeah.
Shit, let's do a Dear Abby first. God damn it. What
Okay.
I'm going to pop the Dear Abby into the chat so anybody that wants to read can follow along. Or read ahead, or do things with things and the people.
Cheers, going to pop Dear Abby. That's
All right.
Hey, look, sometimes you just feel like a freak on a leash.
Yeah.
All right.
You feel like you have no release.
Man prefers
every time you start to believe,
something's
taken from me.
Yeah.
From me.
A part of me. All right. Man prefers to rely on ex instead of current girlfriend.
Clearly, he's never had my ex.
Or
maybe that's his current girlfriend.
Maybe.
Damn.
Dear Abby, I've been seeing Pete for 8 months. He has been divorced for the last 15 years. He has 2 grown children, 5 grandchildren with his ex-wife Linda, who is a significant person in Pete's life. They text throughout the day and enjoy doing things with Linda's husband. Yeah, that sounds like Pete is having major surgery soon. He has informed me that his daughter and Linda are going to be at the hospital, and there are the only 2 guests per patient allowed. I've tried to explain to him that I'm uncomfortable with Linda being such an important person in his life, and hurt that he doesn't include me in their outings. He turned it around and asked what I want him to do about it. He says it's my problem, not his. I care for Pete, but I'm getting fed up. Do I throw the towel or stick it out, hoping that he sees my side of the situation? Get the fuck out.
All right, before we go, before I even read the reply, you go first, Angela.
He is going into the hospital and saying that he wants his ex-wife there and not you. You and his daughter could be there, and he is choosing to not have you there. Leave.
He's still attached to his wife.
Walk away.
Yeah, it'd be a different thing if the daughter, if the kids weren't grown. If Linda was 15 or 16, for some reason wasn't going to be able to get there without mom, and you really wanted Linda there, and Linda wanted to be there, or not Linda, the daughter. The daughter just can't get there without mom, and you want the daughter there. Daughter wants to be there. Okay,
Mom
you've got a
drop
good
her off
reason.
at the front door while you walk her in.
That very much depends on the dynamic between you and mom too. But they apparently get along okay, so that shouldn't be an issue. But everybody's an adult here. He wants her in his life more than he wants you in his life.
I see it differently. I think, I think she's the asshole, if we want to put it in those terms. Here's why. He's been divorced from his wife for 15 years. They have children together and grandchildren together, technically. His ex-wife is we don't even know how long they were married prior to the divorce.
Okay.
So,
except that it was, long enough to have 2 kids.
Right.
2 grown kids, so yeah.
Well, that's assuming that they could have gotten divorced before the kids were grown. We don't know.
Yeah.
But they've got 2 kids, grandchildren. She's been a significant part of his life for 15 years. And certainly longer than 15 years. I'm going to say longer than 25, just to play the game of averages.
Okay.
And now Miss 8 months wants to have seniority. I mean, I understand the seniority bit when it comes to personal relationship stuff, but surgery is kind of a different thing, and you have to prioritize differently.
I have to ask.
This is hold on let me get it out before I lose my train. The ex-wife knows him intimately in ways that only time can allow, where Miss 8 Months doesn't have that. So yeah, there's going to be a bizarre seniority kind of issue in play, and you have to understand that. You can't go from, I mean, 8 months is that's a new girlfriend. You're still in the honeymoon stage, for fuck's sake. If you're lucky.
Stage.
Well, that's
yeah,
actually what I was trying to ask. Did it say that they're married?
It doesn't.
No, it's just that they just say
she's been seeing him for 8 months.
Oh no. Yeah,
So
that's
this-
a completely different thing. The ex goes in.
Yeah, the
because
ex-wife
you know
knows
that-
what questions to ask the doctor if Pete can't fucking function for some reason.
And honestly, the person who should be deciding anything after that should be his kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, girlfriend for 8 months does not
constitute wife.
Well, it
Yeah,
doesn't
see-
constitute the same rank and familiarity with all the details of the situation.
Well, from everything it sounds
Well-
like, we don't know how. It sounds like while they may have had a divorce, there has been a reconciliation to where they realize they're not good together.
Yeah, it
But
may have even been
they can
amicable
still
split.
be friends and whatnot. It might have been, like they said, an amicable split to where they're like, we don't work together, but we want to take care of our children. So
right.
we can do that.
It's a thing where they might be divorced, but they're still family.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there are some people that actually work better, like without the romantic.
Oh, I've seen
That
that
good.
quite a bit. People who just they work better as being like as friends than they do as being married.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I actually knew a couple, even that were like fantastic as long as they were not married, but as soon as you put a ring on their fingers, they were horrific to each other.
Well, marriage does a weird fucking thing to each other, and I do. It's just that whole weird thing because one, it does get the government involved when honestly they shouldn't be involved, in my opinion. But it just has that odd connotation.
What do you mean?
Of just it's kind of that whole thing of like it makes it more permanent to some people for some odd reason.
Oh,
and
yes.
that dating thing means there's always the way you can back out of it, and there still is with the marriage if you're looking in modern day.
Yeah, because at that point you're always stuck asking, "Can I use the bathroom now?"
No.
Whereas when you're single, you don't usually
But-
have to ask that question.
Like I think we're seeing less of it because I think we are seeing more people who are looking at the whole fact of how they were as like the dating and now pulling that into when they're married as well.
Yes.
So we are seeing an evolution of it, but we're still seeing the remnants of people who they have this thing higher of marriage than they do of just dating.
Well, plus we have this.
Plus, it brings the government into it, like I said.
Well, yeah, never mind that. That's nowhere in our Constitution does it say the government has the authority to interject itself there.
Mm-hmm.
The only place government constitutionally can get involved with marriage is in the divorce, and that is only as a neutral arbiter when it comes to dividing assets.
Or as in a domestic dispute.
Define domestic dispute.
He's talking about getting your ass beat by your spouse.
Well, no, see, that's criminal. That's not. That's not contractual.
Yeah,
Marriage,
but ending
legally-
the marriage is a contractual is
the
ending a contract. It's terminating. A
it's the
contract.
dissolution of a contract. Exactly.
And say domestic violence is a crime.
Criminal. Yes. Those are two completely different areas.
But still,
Fun fact.
it falls in the whole thing as well that they will still get involved in either.
Fun
I mean, they'll
fact-
try to get involved in more. Go ahead, Angela.
Never mind.
No,
Go ahead,
Angela.
Angela.
Nope.
Angela, come on now.
What's this?
It's smart enough to feel like you're that feeling when you are smart enough to know how awkward you are, but not smart enough to know how not to be awkward.
Yep.
Yeah.
So do we look at what Abby says now?
Yes. Just talked about DNA results, man.
Mitch's family tree.
Oh yeah.
Pretty sure it's
All right.
all on family trees.
Not mine.
Oh, I'm pretty sure you got some crackers in there as well.
I'm pretty sure I did. Okay.
In Tears' case, the emphasis is on assorted.
I'm pretty sure on all of our emphasis is on assorted.
Does
Very
Israeli
true.
count as cracker? I'm pretty sure Native American doesn't.
That's why we said the emphasis is on assorted.
Wait a minute. All right. So, dear is significant because Pete thinks accepting his priorities is your problem, not his. It is unlikely that he will ever accept your point of view. The problem appears to be that he doesn't consider you to be a couple, and because he doesn't, his family doesn't. You shouldn't have. You should have been included in those outings with Linda and her husband by now. Nowhere in your letter did you mention any of the sweet, thoughtful, caring
Pause.
things Pete does for you. Okay.
That whole thing of like being considered a couple is bullshit. They can still consider you a couple, being like, you don't know him well enough to make life altering decisions.
Right. For example, you're in a solid relationship with an ex-spouse and have been for 15 plus years. Now you have a new romantic interest who doesn't know you nearly as well. You've been together for, say, just over half a year. Who's getting power of attorney?
Shit.
Yeah.
So
X or
my
one of the
mom-
kids.
All right.
Yep.
All right. My mom was with Denise since December, sometime I would say 2014. She died. No, maybe 2012. So 6 years together before she died.
Okay.
And she didn't know nearly enough the shit that I knew. Like, I grew up with this woman all my goddamn life. I've been with her longer, and I'm her child. So when some issues of legality, like who owns like the house, just because my mother put your name on the deed to look at the on the thing to go and look at the mortgage, it's not yours, it's mine.
Yeah, if you weren't on the deed for the house itself, you don't own the house.
Yeah, she was on. She could. What it was my mother put her, like she could ask questions about the mortgage itself. Like
Right.
you know how you're required
That's- That's as simple. I can tell you, financial industry. That is as simple as providing suitably acceptable authorization to the bank. Hey, here is a signed and notarized letter from me authorizing you to share mortgage information with this person. That gives them the legal authority to do it. It doesn't make the other person owner of the home.
Exactly.
Yes. And I seen the actual deed because I'm just that type of asshole that would look. If I'm going to fight, I'm going to fight with everything I can. You know. But
Well,
I bring
if you're gonna go with this whole honor bound bullshit, like this isn't two samurai or two knights going up against each other. Like you got to use every advantage you fucking have.
Yeah, like
This
I
ain't-
pay
this
like
isn't- this isn't the fucking
$50 to
movies.
get that deed. Like I pay like $50 to get the actual physical deed, and nowhere on that deed is her name because the house was bought before she even came into the picture. But I don't mean to interrupt that with the conversation. It's just that just because you're there for any amount of time doesn't make you give you any priority rights. You're not his wife. You're a girlfriend that's only been there for less than half the time, then he's cheating on him. And like you said, she knows him intimately. And maybe he had that trust in her that if something were to happen to him, he knows that she could fill in that role.
Again, it falls in that whole thing. From everything, it sounds like they have a good enough relationship that things didn't end on bad terms. And even if they did, they were mended. Because if it was anything else, it most likely would have been his kids that would have made the decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Now,
there's something else here, because you get Abby's response, talking about how Miss 8 Months should have been part of those
outings.
It's outings with the ex and the ex's husband, and it's never said or even implied that she wasn't invited or that it was their decision that she wasn't there. It's the way that everything is presented. She very easily could have been invited and said no.
Or, oh, you guys are hanging out on Friday. Well, I gotta work Friday, so I can't do it on Friday.
I was gonna another sideline because you're talking about the whole thing with the X and the trust level and everything there, but have to remember that I have the X from hell. Even today, if it was a medical decision, she's not going to be anywhere near it because I don't have. It's just a stub toe. Well, still, I mean, Canadian healthcare. Just saying.
Oh, just continue reading Abby's response if you want to get even more angry.
Okay. Nowhere in your life did it mention the sweet, thoughtful he does for you. Because of that, and because after 8 months he hasn't managed to create a slot on the hospital visitor list, it may indeed be time to throw in the towel. Like, he can't, if there's only 2 people allowed, he can't force them to allow more than 2 people.
Right. There are only, to quote the letter, there are only 2 guests per patient allowed. That's not a decision the patient makes. That's a hospital policy.
Yeah,
and it probably depends on what the surgery is too.
I got another story with something like that. My girlfriend at the time was having anxiety attacks, right? And she went to the hospital. I think she went to the hospital for about a week. She put her mother and her little sister on there. Nowhere was, and mind you, we've been dating for like a year, maybe a little longer than a year. And like, I wasn't on the list. Like, I couldn't see her. She was only allowed 2 people. Her mother and her little sister. It is what it is.
Also end up wondering a little bit about when this happened. Makes me think it was around the 2020-2021 area of time.
Oh,
because generally speaking, hospitals have tended to be more a X visitors at a time.
Right.
Like my last visit in my last inpatient stay in the hospital. I mean, my best friend could come, my mom could come, my nephew could come, other family members could come. Just no more than 2 could be there at a time.
Again, it could be low. It could be you know how hospitals have different rules.
Because I gotta
different
make
hospitals have different rules.
Well, I gotta make the dirty joke. Well, then they must have had a good janitor because that's kind of disgusting.
Well, what I find disturbing here is how much projection from whoever is pretending to be Abigail Van Buren these days is putting in these in this response. I mean, it's like you said before. It was never stated whether or not the writer was invited on these outings with Linda, her husband, and her new boyfriend.
And I vaguely feel like she'd mentioned that she did go on outings with.
No, it just says he has 2 grown children and 5 grandchildren with his ex-wife Linda, who is still a significant person in Pete's life. They text throughout the day and enjoy doing things with Linda's husband.
I mean, couldn't it be that?
So yeah, it sounds like they separated because they either separated on bad terms or whatnot. They realized they didn't work out, but they still wanted to be good parents to their children. So they got over their whatever bullshit they had. And because of that, they realized, hey, we don't work together, but hey, we created however many beautiful children we have, and we're going to be the damnedest best parents we can for them and give them the best fucking.
But that's a
outcome they can
projection
have.
too.
True.
And I mean, when I'm reading this, I'm going strictly by the facts as they are presented by the writer.
Yes.
And by the facts as presented by the writer, the response to the letter is woefully inaccurate and incomplete.
Yo, Mr. Scott.
Hey, Mr. Scott. Because everything we brought up is a legitimate factor to consider. That's just
disturbing.
Accurate.
Tim Walls.
No, it would have to say horse before that.
It does.
I don't get this.
Michigan and McChicken are basically saying
So you have Michigan and Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Just throw the right accent on it.
It's a linguistics thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Let this be the hour we draw.
Look, I'm
together.
inebriated, so I can make that freaking thing through into the whole thing. But I'm staying off Gunbroker today, at least for now.
Hey, Mr. Scott, how you doing?
Insert movie quote.
Whoa. But again, this woman is insane, and Abby's. Maybe she does need to leave. Maybe she's unhappy and she just wants to go.
Well, yeah, if she's unhappy, she should go.
Oh yeah.
But if she's willing to put in the time to earn the rank and position of privilege that the current ex-wife has, maybe she should, loosen her sphincter a bit.
No.
Not think that just everything needs to be given to her because reasons, I guess.
Yeah, because suddenly attaining girlfriend status does not confer on one all of the rights and privileges that come with having someone who's been in your life for a very long time.
This is the game that you had got to play at home growing up.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh shit, that's funny.
Yeah, I never seen win that game.
Shouldn't that be called Blackopoly?
Fair point. And of course, the chance and community chest cards are all go to jail.
Now suddenly I want to see a ghetto Monopoly.
A ghettopoly.
There's like 3 go to jail squares per side.
Yeah, instead of railroads, they're all go to jail unless there's unless the railroads are engaging in slavery to build the tracks.
Go to jail, get fried chicken, go to jail.
No, sell crack, deal in fentanyl.
The utilities are the utilities are KFC and the watermelon patch.
No, KFC. Wait a minute. KFC, Popeyes, Watermelon Patch, and the Great Drink Factory.
See, it did it again. Now I want a big ass bucket of chicken. Fuck.
I was at my doctor today and stepped on this thing
called a scale.
Scale.
It said 748 pounds. Must have been my power level. Doctor said I'm morbidly obese and my BMI levels are inhuman. Finally, someone recognizes how strong I am.
Yeah.
Clearly, the diabetes is eating through his brain cell.
Yeah. All one of his brain cells.
Oh, one of his brain cells. He got type 3.
The neuropathy in the head is real.
Hey, Chumley, go count your brain cell.
1, 5.
Actually, while Chumley's a prick, he's actually He has more knowledge than people give him credit for. He just does some shit that he should have never gotten away with.
Right. Oh
Well, I
God,
think
that's
that-
funny.
That should be Gazi Kozo.
No. In the whole thing of Pawn Stars, Chumlee has actually made the guys on Pawn Stars over $1 million out of his knowledge of other random shit that they don't know.
Well, yeah.
Just based upon his whole aspect of like tennis shoes collecting, he has made an expert amount that like what's his name can't even put an actual fucking price on.
Right. What was the oh God, something else popped into my head and it's gone now.
Penis.
Damn.
Tits. Diabetes.
No, it's because I'm dying for that big ass bucket of chicken.
I probably ought to eat something again since I've had a meal today.
Yeah, my meal was early this morning. Yesterday morning now.
Technically,
Robin's,
I didn't eat until like 5 something.
All right, I'm
Okay,
play
so we're
Robin's
going.
video.
We're gonna go with my one of the Yankee candles.
Mm-hmm.
We up?
Oh God. Yankee Candle has gotten out of control. Oh, sure, it started out innocent enough. Keeping it light and seasonal with some spiced pumpkin, maybe even some sparkling cinnamon. Heck, I'll even give them clean cotton, which objectively shouldn't smell like anything. But I get the fact that naming a candle laundry detergent wouldn't sell as much. But nowadays, the fat cats at Candle Corporate have given up on tangible ideas. They have parted the veil into a realm of almost insulting absurdity. For instance, this is not a joke. You can buy a candle called a Child's Wish. Hey, Yankee Candle, what the fuck does that smell like? Does it smell like the freshly molded plastic of a new Nerf gun, or perhaps the lack of cancer? That was a dark joke. There's also a candle called Whiskers on a Kitten. Once again, I get what the image you're trying to paint in my mind's eye, but pray tell, what the fuck does that mean, Yankee Candle? Have you smelled a cat's mouth before, especially after a nap? It's like a family of fish died in a dry cave. There's a candle called Stars and Stripes. What am I supposed to glean from that information? What does it smell like? High fructose corn syrup and a 50-50 mix of foreigner blood and oil? Ginger dusk? Ginger, what? You can't just take a spice in a time of day and call it a candle. And don't even get me started on snow candles. There's like 50 fucking candles that are based off of snow. And get this, Yankee Candle, snow doesn't smell like anything. It notably smells like a lack of something. Please go back to making like lavender scents, because I can't handle this anymore. There's literally a candle called 2x4 Yankee Candle.
Well, it just smells like lumber, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that is a smell that I know actually. So
Fresh lumber. That's actually a nice smell.
it really is.
Why don't they have one called Sexual Regret?
Gross, man.
Well.
Because I mean, honestly, that could cover like 50 smells if you're creative.
Y'all know who Sexy Red is?
Nope.
What?
All right, Sexy Red is this horrible rapper, but she has a line of lipstick. Was it lip gloss line?
It's not Pound Town Bitch, is it?
Yes, it's the Pound Town Bitch. Now I'm gonna read some of these names.
So Pound Town, she just came from Pound Town.
I'm gonna read some of the names. All right, of her lip gloss lines. All right.
This would also be a way to clear out Tears neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's also on Father's Day as well.
Hold on. Are you right, Daddy? Yep. All right.
I want to have a scented candle called Shh. You smell that?
No, okay. All right. Listen to me. All right. My lip gloss line, the names of lip gloss. Coochie Juice.
No.
Booty Hole Brown.
Damn.
Nut.
Yeah, because her pussy pink, her booty hole brown.
Next one. Pussy Hole Pink.
Told you.
Yellow Discharge.
Yeah, because because like she's the one that Sugar Tits did a video on to where she saw the music video and she's like, this is some of the dumbest shit I've ever seen. And in the video, she's like, and then like 30 minutes later, she's like, Pound Town, just went to Pound Town.
All right.
My nigga just took a bitch down.
All right.
Why do I hear
Gardner-
that in Eric Cartman's voice?
Wait. I got three more. I think we can do this. Gonorrhea.
No.
Blue balls. And the last one I found is Chef's Kiss. Sex on my period.
Oh.
Now all of a sudden,
this is what feminism has brought us.
Vagina scented candle doesn't sound so bad, does it?
Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina scented candle. Yeah, it really doesn't.
Well, that is the sexual regret candle right there.
Okay, can we just call the vagina scented candle cunt wax?
Cunt wax.
Say Yankees candle. They've also got one Witch's Brew.
Ah! Oh God, Kyivedam, that is amazing. Once she had blue waffles, but I looked over and the first one I saw was smegma. And of course, because of the way my brain works, the first time when it went through, it just went smegma.
I'm just somewhere someone's gonna have the festering fleshlight scented candle.
What the?
Why are we?
Mystic
why am I
Moon.
hearing these things? Why?
Winter
Why
night-
is this happening?
Winter night stars. If you can get close enough to smell them, you're already dead.
Wait a minute, Angela, I got the perfect candle and lip gloss name ever, and y'all gonna appreciate it.
Yeah, Keith.
Neo Vagina.
Fucking Tears not paying
No.
attention and highlighting you on that one, but I am.
Cunt wax sounds like a punk band album.
Wax.
I don't know. It
God.
almost
See,
sounds
then the
like-
follow up
question-
would be called Queef Beast.
Well, hold on. That almost sounds like it couldn't. Instead of being the album, that could be the band name.
Really?
Yeah. Cunt Wax first album is Queef Beast.
Why is this still happening?
Because we're
is
guys
it
and we find this shit
continuing?
funny.
Because you're on a stream with four degenerates.
If it's in the UK, there's one called Front Butt. No, what was it? Damn it, I forgot the third word. There's 3 words in it. Oh,
What's the
front
first
butt
one?
smut.
On the other side, Angela, they do have things like sage and citrus, afternoon scrapbooking, which you don't think about, but yeah, those crafting supplies have their own aroma.
Yeast
cider house.
infection and erectile dysfunction. Jesus Christ.
Will, I really appreciate you trying to keep me from completely losing my mind in all of this.
Bloody vagina burp.
Oh.
Oh God.
Cranberry chutney.
Oh, isn't that pronounced chutney? Never mind.
I don't know.
Okay,
back
we
to a
have,
weird happy place.
Cunt Wax's follow-up album of Viagra Max.
Smoked vanilla and cashmere.
Wait a minute. I just love how Will Rod says something like that, and then Will goes something very casual. It's like you're naming the Rod's giving the horrible names while Will's giving the technical
Will's
names.
desperately trying to make this hopeful for Angela, and I'm just here being a fucking degenerate.
Oh no, I've got the ultimate one. I think just a single word. A single word for the name of a scented candle, and it's disgusting as can be because it puts the onus on the listener to create the disgusting thing in their own head. It's one simple word: discharge.
God damn it!
Will is trying
That's
to
actually
keep
better
me-
than I was thinking. I was going with raging hemorrhoid.
That's 2 words.
Well, that's 2 words.
That's what I said.
Will is trying
he
to
beat
keep
me with
people
one word.
from
I was going
finding
with
me
2.
like Tina curled up in the boat.
Wasn't that
Okay.
Alice? Are we talking about the
No.
first Friday the 13th?
No, we're talking about Jaws
Ah.
2, actually.
All right.
After
I love you,
Eddie
Andrew.
gets eaten.
Was it Jaws 4 that was called The Revenge?
Yes.
I mean, what the sharks down there going, this time it's personal.
Which one was in 3D?
3.
Jaws 3.
Everything in that era, if there was a third film that was in 3D, it was really stupid.
Sticky Wicket.
They did Friday the 13th 3D, fucking Jaws 3D, Amityville 3D. It was
Media
just
autopsy.
Cotton Candy Autopsy. That's awesome. Sticky Wicket. That works.
That's the name of the band we're gonna form. Everybody, Cotton Candy Autopsy.
You know what I hate
thought
about
you were
the
gonna
3D
say
films of
Sticky
that
Wicket.
era? The thing that really fucking pisses me off about the 3D films of that era, because those were all horror films, right? I don't know why they didn't do it with fucking romantic comedies. I wonder why. But no, they stopped the horror film every 5 minutes to remind you that it's a 3D movie.
Please
By
put
doing
your
something
3D glasses on.
But by doing something completely innocuous to remind, hey, kids, remember this movie's in 3D.
Well, that was like when I went and saw Harold and Kumar in 3D. They just tried so hard on so much of this shit when it didn't need to be.
Well, that's what I mean. And Friday the 13th, part 3, there's a part where the guy's replacing the pole for the laundry line so it doesn't sag. And, he lifts it up and points the butt end of it right into the camera. There's nothing in the horror story that works with that imagery. It's stupid imagery for the context of that film. We need to see as Weird Al Yankovic said, we need to see the bloody hatchet coming right at us. We don't need to see the butt end of a fucking pole for a laundry line, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, well, this is fortunate. I went and saw Jurassic Park in 3D.
I'll be back in a moment.
Released that. The problem with that was, and it was entertaining and everything, but the way that they converted it to 3D, the screen was still the window on the world. It didn't take and bring anything 3-dimensionally towards you.
Oh, okay.
It was, they had to basically, I don't know if they were extrapolating or interpolating the 3D, but it was the screen outwards. So things gained depth from the screen level, but nothing came towards you. Nothing gained height.
I like Blunt Force
Lavender.
Lavender. I like that. That sounds like a love song.
Blunt Force Lavender.
Yeah, it's a more rocky punk song though.
All it makes me think of is like your washerwoman is washing your laundry down in the river, beating your clothes against the rocks.
We could go psycho fucking dark on it and be like it Blunt Force Lavender is
bruises.
No, there's that. But no, it's a serial killer who keeps you for a long time first, but won't let you bathe and insists upon spraying you down with a perfume.
Now, what if it's a serial killer that kills because he's in love with a woman?
As I went down in the river to
if we're gonna go
wash.
with something like that, we need to go with like some actual medical terms. We need to like look at like subhematoma something.
No, okay, with Blunt Force Lavender, if that's going to be a song about a romantic serial killer, it's got to open with the sound clip from Silence of the Lambs. Put the fucking lotion in the basket.
Okay, so we're kind of going down the aspect of like Ice Nine Kills.
I guess.
Well, they had an album called I want to say it was like the Silver Screen, where they every song was based upon a specific horror movie. I think it was.
Oh, nice. But I'm thinking more like the song "I Hope You Die" by the Bloodhound Gang, where it starts with that line of. It starts with that line of dialogue from I don't even know what movie it is.
You must die. I alone am
die. I alone am best. Which is obviously an English dub of a Japanese martial arts film. I'm just thinking in those terms. I love that song, by the way. That is lyrically, it's a very intricate and fun song.
What song is that?
I Hope You Die by the Bloodhound Gang.
The Bloodhound Gang actually has some really good songs that aren't near as popular.
Right.
And that one, like, God, I can't remember. It's like the one about heaven is actually a really good song.
When the hooker is crying, or stripper is crying, whatever. Yeah.
Life is so much better when the stripper is crying.
Yeah, it's kind of it's sort of a joke country song, I guess.
But they also have one that's like, I know the chorus is "Heaven may be running on empty if the devil rides," and it's actually a pretty good song.
It's time, guys. You know what to do. Push it up.
Oh shit! Well, do you want to watch one more video of like
Sure.
weird jobs that like are strangely angry?
Jobs that are exclusively performed by very mean people that often make me sad. Up first, we have the people at CVS that you have to call over by pushing a button for them to open up a glass case so you can get deodorant. Why are you so mad at me for making you do that? Listen, it really does suck that people stole so much shit out of these shelves that now part of your job is to help everyone purchase one thing every single time. But listen, I didn't do that, okay? I don't know why you're so mad at me when I need to get some Febreze for my apartment. You look so mad. I don't want to be a bother. Number two, anyone working at a government-appointed job like the DMV or the post office. Why are you so mad? I understand that you're dealing with stupid people all day, every day, but so is everyone else at every single job. You have no right to act the way you act. And on that note, I don't know if this is government appointed, but TSA workers, relax. You gotta chill a little bit. It's a little bit different for TSA workers because people are consistently stupid all the time at the TSA. Yeah. Question, do I have to take my belt off? Every time, bro. Every time you have to take your belt off. That being said, have a little faith in humanity sometimes. I'm showing up with my shoes in my hand and my belt in the box. I'm ready to go. Why are you screaming at me? And I give you my ID and ticket and you look at it and look at me and then you scan it and then you give it back. No smile, no how's your day, and they just like wave you off. Use some words. I'm a human being. I'm not a cow. No. Jobs that are exclusively performed by...
Something seasonal, Green Badger writes. Pumpkin spice excoriation.
I forgot that I had actually found that one specifically for the end for tier.
We are evil.
So tier, if my belt has absolutely no metal in it, does it still have to come off? Because that's what keeps my pants up.
No. If it has no metal in it, it's fine.
Okay.
But if you got a fucking dinner plate on, like you're in the Lone Star of fucking Texas, yeah, that shit gotta come off.
No. I've been shopping belts that have no metal, and the buckle is metal-free carbon fiber.
You leave my Jesus helps me hold my pants up for what I wear in my Sunday best. All right,
because tin is the fucking primary chemical component in most explosives. Never mind. I'm just being a dick.
Oh, it's not that. When you're walking through the metal detector, if you have a belt on, the metal will alarm it. And
I can't go to the metal detector anyway.
Well, we know you're a robot.
This is why I fucking drive most places, because I have no desire to fly anymore.
Nope. No do I. I won't subject
all 3
myself to
times
that.
I've been to the DMV, they've been nice. It's been fast and no issues. Yes.
It's
you have some kind of magic, dude.
No, every time I've gone to the DMV, it's been fast and super nice because they have.
I'm pretty sure Cannibalistic has like blood on his face and shit, and they're just like, you know what? I don't feel like dealing with this shit today, sir. How can I help you?
No, so for 2 reasons why I've always had the easy experience. One, my DMV does online appointments. You have to have an appointment in order to get in. You can't just walk in. So. You say you make an appointment for 2 o'clock, your ass needs to be there by 2 o'clock. Second, most things like I need to get a new ID, a replacement, a duplicate ID, I could just order on the website. Like, so small shit that doesn't require you to like get a picture taken, you can get it handled online.
Well, also if you have a little self-deprecating humor in that whole aspect, because like some people will be pissed, and it's like if you show up and you're like, all right, this is what I have for this whole thing. Am I missing anything? Because I think I got everything I need. And you come up there with that attitude, they're usually a little more likely to work with you, unless you get that one fucking worker that just wants to be a complete fucking prick.
In and out. Lickety split. So, Angela.
Here.
Mr. Adams still doing the
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can find Andrew on AJ's Retro Arcade.
If you guys were waiting for us to start last week, I do apologize. Adam fell asleep.
Lord, I apologize. Be down with the starving pygmies in New Guinea.
So in other words, Adam being Adam. So you can find her on Mr. Adam AJ's Retro Arcade at 10:30 Mondays. Angela.
Yes.
10:30 Monday.
7:30 my time, so 10:30 Eastern.
Okay. She's also on Never Watch Along with me and Mitch. She's also here. She's also on Rotten's variety
She's
streams.
here, these shit. She's here, these. She's there. She's everywhere. She's on a whole bunch of streams.
She is. Catchbringer is next starting a art stream or a game stream.
We be painting. We be painting.
And
It's an art stream.
What are you painting this? Or what are you painting?
I'm hoping to finish up the steampunk sugar glider, but we will see. I've got a lot of fine detail to fit.
Oh, are you gonna make another time lapse that I can do even faster than it was before, just to piss you off again?
I've got one of those in my project folder that I have to do I have to finish up. I think for the cat. No, it wasn't for the cat goyle. It was for
the real fun part is how I'm going to tell you. Actually, it's pretty cool to watch it at that speed. You're going to come back and be like, "Fuck, you're right."
All right. You are you playing? What are you playing on your game stream though? With Mooney.
Yeah, was playing a game this week. Of course, Spooky Month is coming up. I will divert my gameplay to spookier games during that time. I just don't know if I'm going to start early because I got one more game stream this month, but I might start early, as I told the audience today. I'll make a decision before the next game stream.
Rotten.
Spooky season.
It is. Rotten. You have. It's talking to Boy tonight, right?
Hi. Yes, we da see.
Okay. Talking. Rotten has his various streams that he is on.
If you want to join Mitch and Will, you're more than welcome.
Groovy.
May or may not. We will see.
I mean, I got some other shit to talk about we didn't hit tonight that has nowhere near the significance, but we can bitch about bullshit for a while.
I'm good at that.
And hell, for some of it doesn't even have anything to do with movies.
Right on.
But we can get to it's about music.
Oh.
Oh, I get too snobby about music.
Ooh, then I'm glad I kept this on accident.
No, it's because I hate most of it now. But anyway, let's move on because that's going to be a whole other thing.
So me, Mitch, have on the main channel we have Minions in Space,
which I usually join on as well.
Yeah. Will, you're welcome to join. Angela, whenever AJ doesn't do his retro arcade, you're more than welcome to hop on with us.
Awesome.
Then we have Never Watch Alone on Thursday nights. Thursdays at 6 p.m.
Eastern
Standard Time, yes. And we are doing, this week we're doing Siren Song, which is a Resident Evil fan film in Voorhees. Last week we did Joker Rising, and
let's not discuss it.
I hear it's not the best thing that we've had on the show.
It is.
It's not the worst.
I was going to have to jump out 10 minutes early anyways. Because I had trivia.
Lies.
This is one of those cases when you don't regret having to jump out early.
I turned around and I was like, how close are we to done?
Wait, like seriously, this movie was worse than the Joaquin Phoenix fucking Joker?
Yes.
I have very low standards of that movie.
I swear to God.
In my personal opinion, the Joaquin Phoenix, it's a decent movie, but it is overrated as a motherfucker.
Oh, it's a rehash of a bunch of other movies.
Yes.
Well, yeah, it was something.
I mean, and shamelessly so.
They fucking didn't shoehorn. They fucking hammered. Yeah.
Yeah. Batman into it.
They hammered Batman. They hammered Gotham.
Yeah.
They used my bigger mallet philosophy. For those who haven't heard, it's one that comes up at work a long time. Is basically with a big enough mallet, all pegs fit the round hole. If I'm running into a glitch or an issue that I think I can brute force, I'm just grabbing a bigger mallet.
Hey, percussive maintenance a thing.
What was I about to say? I think I put this in our Discord channel, and I said it. Honestly, Andrew, I think you can sense when we're going to do a really shitty movie, because you wasn't there for he helped me.
Well, we can't necessarily say that because he dipped. It's like Will did dip for the Twin Towers movie, and that was actually a really good movie.
Oh no, I'm talking about.
It's fucking rough, but it's a good movie.
No, he's talking about Angela for Never Watch Alone.
Yeah, she was gone, but he helped me.
She was gone for a time to kill.
I watched He
Yeah.
Helped Me from the audience. I just wasn't on the show.
You need to
I
suffer
watched
with us.
it. I watched
she-
it. I suffered through it with you.
He suffered in stream-based silence.
She could turn it off.
Yeah, but she did miss Time to Kill.
She did miss Time to Kill.
I did miss Time to Kill. But I sat and I watched that.
But comparatively, there were
Abomination.
tears giving you shit for not seeing that one movie. I'm actually saying you missed out, but you didn't miss out.
It was a decent. World Trade Center was.
No, she was there for World Trade Center, like Time to Kill, not A Time to Kill. Time to Kill with Nicolas Cage. Like you weren't there, but the best way to put it's like you weren't there, but you did not miss out.
It wasn't anything worth seeing. It was terrible and boring. But I'm going to move on really quickly. Go ahead. No,
I
go
was
ahead.
going to say, from what you've said, I kind of dodged a bullet with that one.
You did.
Yeah.
Probably quite literally.
Damn
Excuse
near.
me.
I just dodged a fart.
We will be back next week. Hopefully, we will have Jack Cochran on. Yeah. So, Mitch, choose 1, 2, or 3.
12.
Yeah, see, that's where I'm just going to say Bleen. But
God damn it.
I'll go with 3.
Go with 3. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for coming out. If you want to hear more of us, you can find a schedule of sorts in the description with all the wonderful shit we do throughout the week. You can also find in that description and in the pinned comment in the chat, you will find the 4 GoFundMes for the High Plains Food Bank, Andrew Ariaga, Hey Camel, and Maddy. I know they appreciate anything that you can give. If they
Absolutely.
I'll beat it into them. So, with that, we're going to get out of here. Thank you, Mitch, for coming on, as always.
Always a pleasure.
All right. All right, everybody say goodbye.
Bye.
all.
See ya.
Laters.
We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep smiling through, just like you always do, till the blue skies drive the dark clouds far away.